Hey, this is Suranya from the exercise bike again, and I must say I'm in a state of considerable shock to see the extent of the violence on display in Bengal. I'm not talking about what the BJP goons are doing, bulldozing meat markets and shouting Jai Shri Ram slogans. That's expected. So disgusting as it is. But I'm quite shocked at the shootings of the CPM leader and of Subhendu Adhikari's PA in broad daylight. It's telling me the extent of the Gundaism that was there in Bengal. Now, these stories were things that you would hear from UP and Bihar and still do to some extent. But in neither UP nor Bihar have you seen so many educated, decent people. You haven't seen this quality of person in those parties. And I think that they must be feeling very embarrassed for such a person to countenance daylight murder is terrible. If the idea is that the times are so bad, we have to ally with anybody who's against Modi, well, maybe that could have been a good strategy, but it's not working. The political party leadership is not on board with this idea of unifying against the BJP. And they are also not able to perform wherever they do. So I don't think that India's educated elite, well-intentioned, should be joining up with these guys, because if you're going to get more and more identified, then you lose your moral high ground. You cannot persuade any constituency of any stand unless you prove your conviction of that stand. We should retreat from this. One thing which really jarred when I came back from NYU to work in India is that in the legal community, I really did not find any I did not find those, Gandhian and Nehruvian values, those socialist values that we were raised with. It was different. And don't get into trouble with my former colleagues and bosses. But, I mean, one or two of them were very, very much on board. But even so, it's a different kind of thing. And what was very much front and center was that, you have to succeed. Environment of cutthroat competition where whoever succeeded was God, was admired, revered, listened to, and whoever didn't succeed was, considered to be a loser. There was no real objective evaluation of whether the work is good or what is a merit on the substance of the work. And this, became the same in so many other fields. So, it's only when one stepped out of that, and now when everybody is a loser because everybody is losing, that someone like me is able to use words like, values, morals, ethics. It feels like a relief. Finally, I can breathe. Not because I'm a better person than other people. I'm sure I fail all my values and morals and ethics. But that was the vocabulary of our upbringing. And, post-liberalization, we came into India as adults, had great advantages, but, we also found ourselves really stuck with this very banya value system. Because, I'm not against capital and the use of an enterprise, but, Indian capitalism and enterprise, Bangalore showed something different. But, you go look at these Gujarati businessmen or people coming from different parts in the north, they are not really visionaries of enterprise or anything. It's just, what is going to sell. So that became the attitude, and maybe that's why our secular ideals lost so much, because we didn't carry them with conviction. You want to have a certain type of polity, you need to wear your values on your sleeve. When you are a loser, you have nothing to lose. Okay? Forget about success. Go back to your first principles. Go back to the values which our parents and grandparents taught us, and which they learnt from the great statesmen of the freedom struggle. Our duty as educated, patriotic citizens with a voice, we must now simply focus on articulating in a very substantive way, not just in slogans, not just assuming the other person knows what we are saying, the secular, inclusive and diverse idea of India. There is a need to actually just again reiterate all the ideas and findings of our freedom struggle, and also of great world events that have shaped some of the liberal values that we so love. Both the world wars, the crisis with the nuclear armament. People get their values from leaders that they can admire and look up to, who articulate ideas that ennoble and inspire and elevate them. So, forget trying to be a winner. If you are in the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, great, that's fine, stay there, but try to ease yourself out of this game. And if you're not, in some party, don't go there. We need to bring moral clarity and clear up a lot of confusion and poor thinking in our society. That's all we need to do. Because, you don't need to make desperate peace with thugs. India has not just suddenly discovered pluralism and diversity and secularism. These are very, very old values. We need to be sages and examples of good principles and good thinking for the people of India. Okay? We don't need to become Modis. We don't need to answer like for like. Please stop. Don't join the propaganda machine. Jai Hind.